Welcome, seekers of the unknown, as we pull back the veil between the living and beyond. Unraveling questions that plague our minds, and oftentimes presenting the evidence that may prove them true. Let us take you on a journey where paranormal becomes normal, and where what is right behind you just might be echoes of the afterlife or something more. But fair warning, once you step into the supernatural with us, you might just stay haunted.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stay Haunted.
Oh, confetti. 1 year.
Yeah, very special episode. This is our 1 year episode.
Yay!
We started exactly a year ago tomorrow.
Here's our confetti. Popcorn.
Popcorn and confetti.
Do we have any confetti?
I don't think we have any confetti, do we?
No.
Let's
Oh,
I don't know.
What do we have?
I know we get the confetti at the end of the show.
there you go.
We get applause for 1 year. Thank you to everybody in chat for joining us for this 1 year celebration.
Yes.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging as always.
Yes. Thanks for watching for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're stuck with us. We're never leaving.
Now,
We're like a leash. We're never leaving.
We're never leaving.
Melissa 305.
And yesterday was Easter. Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter to everybody.
We looked for eggs and praised that he had risen. And however you celebrate Easter, I hope you celebrate it.
I looked for a gold egg, but I couldn't find any.
The golden egg, like Willy Wonka's golden egg or golden
No, he had a
ticket.
golden ticket.
Golden
He had a
ticket.
golden ticket.
It was the goose that laid the golden egg.
that's right.
It was the goose that laid. And
Gooses and geeses.
I know, I'm now singing.
I want one. Get me a golden goose.
I want one now.
I'm not
Audra
singing.
needs to work on her English accent.
Yeah, well.
I love that movie. But I would always call her, call my sister Maruka. Veruca. What's her name?
Veruca.
Veruca Salt. I would always say, you're just like Veruca Salt. I hope she's watching.
And Jenny, to answer your question, no, it doesn't feel like a year, but hell, we've been doing it for 6 now. So
Right.
does it feel like a year to you guys?
Yeah. You
For
guys.
us, yeah, for us, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a year.
Yeah.
Just feels like another day.
It's another.
Good.
It's another.
Because if
Monday.
you guys go, yeah, it feels like 2.
This was a lot.
Eternity we've been here.
So it's kind of like our relationship as long as we've been together. So it just seems like
What does that
yesterday.
mean?
No, I'm just saying it's a good thing. So it's
He's like, it feels like 64 years.
Right? Feels like eternity. Are we done yet? That's so not nice.
but. So what did you guys do for Easter? You did family stuff?
Yep.
Yep. Went over to the fam's house last night and had Easter dinner and then came home and watched the Tigers game.
Nice.
Yep.
How about you guys?
We went to my sister's and watched the little kids
Lived vicariously through the youthful.
screaming
Ah.
at each other, angry that they didn't get the golden egg.
Yeah.
It was fun times. It was actually fun. We had a good time.
Good.
A lot of food. I power
Yeah, a lot
napped for
of
like
food.
I think I power
We did
napped from
power
like
nap.
3 to
Power nap.
4:30 for like an hour and a
Wow.
Wow.
half. Dinner, you know. So
I held the baby
brunch.
for hours and hours.
Yeah.
I thought someone
See, every day at my age is like Easter because I'm constantly going, what the fuck I do with my phone? What the fuck do you do?
It's an Easter egg hunt
Yes.
all the time.
all the time. We're always
Yeah,
hunting
yeah.
for something.
Audra had an Easter egg hunt yesterday. She went out and picked up dog poop.
Oh.
Yeah.
I found 12.
Although we did, I think what we're going to do, tell them about I think next year's with our cousins, we're going to do a fun event.
No, with his
My side of things.
Yeah, his
Yes,
side.
my
So
side of things.
all the older kids.
All the older kids.
We're gonna do the adult hunt,
Easter egg hunt.
Easter egg hunt. But I'm gonna have them all wear the blow up costumes. and they're all going to bounce off each other trying to pick up the eggs.
So we
They're going
saw
to be in blow-ups.
I saw that on TikTok.
You got to get the farts.
right with all the
Yeah.
animals, the giraffe, the bunny, the dinosaur, the T-Rex.
So funny. If we did
That was an hysterical.
You got to get the fart spray so you can spray it in a little fan.
Oh, that's just
that would we get your sister back.
yeah. I could get my
We
sister
can
back.
get your sister back.
Absolutely.
That'd be funnier than hell.
That would be. We can get them all back.
We can get them all back.
Here,
Yes.
Lacey's up here to
Yes.
say hello. Oh God.
Lacey, go to place. I know nobody's here, and you love to come over when we start the show. We love you, but it's time for the show. We have important guests that are coming on.
Important
Yeah.
guests.
Speaking of,
Aw,
since they're guests, but they're
Right.
family.
more than guests.
They're more than guests. They're family, and that's the reason why we wanted them on our 1-year episode.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and bring them in, guys.
Hold
if
on.
you don't know who they are, you're not paying attention.
Yeah. You've been sleeping.
Go ahead,
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
do it, and then I'll say who it is.
All right.
Everybody's head. Everybody's head.
Everybody, Ron and Lourdes from the Digital Séance Experience. Say hello.
What a great introduction.
Yeah.
Had to have something special,
Welcome.
guys.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
that was monumental.
Say hi.
Well, it's monumental in the fact that not only do we love you and your family, but your last appearance caused us to get banned on multiple Facebook pages.
Oh,
We have that effect.
yeah, we have that effect.
That's
We have
true
a different-
love there. True love.
Yeah, we have a different business model. We like to start at the top of the game and then gradually descend into just crap. So we're working on that, and we take you down with us.
That's all right.
Awesome.
We'll go.
Share the love.
Lacey, stop.
Yes.
I thought the Easter egg hunt for adults was that you hide the adults and they gotta find you. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, we could do that
we
too.
could-
I'll
we
hide
could do that,
myself,
yeah.
and no one will
We could
find
do
me.
Yeah.
that.
Well, hopefully it's all like the little liquor bottles.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
it.
That's next
Don't do
level
it.
thinking right there. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chloroform and camouflage is all you need.
What you do is you just rent out like 10 hotel rooms and have an Easter egg hunt in the hotel for the kids and tell them they win the grand prize when they find their parents, but they can't go to the first floor. And then all the parents go down to the bar.
That'll work.
right?
Win-win, right?
Doesn't sound like the first time he's thought about that, I'll be honest. No.
Just another day.
Just another day.
Well, congratulations on a year.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
You don't just say stay haunted. You stay haunted.
Ta-da!
Thank you very much. Thank you. You need to get down.
Christoph Algard.
I'll be right back.
What
He'll
the
be
fuck?
right back.
See, we already got rid of Todd. It's gonna happen. He'll never be back.
That's right.
Remember when Todd was on the show? Remember? Oh, there he is.
Oh, here I am.
Todd, you're
Todd will
supposed
be
to before the show starts.
I had to go because she was just being too much. I had to go put her in place. So,
Well,
Aw.
we'll be here in a
Oh,
minute.
not you. Stay over there. She's looking over here from the couch. She's like,
yeah. I try that here too. Stay over there. Never works. You can look from the
I
couch.
love her, but it's just it's too
Hey,
much.
Go to the couch. It doesn't work.
Never works.
Go to the couch
Never
and
works.
don't move.
Don't move.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
too?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell me to go
We
to the
joke
couch.
around all the time. Matter of fact, just before the show, I was telling her, I'm like, why can't you grasp the concept of just do what you're told? And I got the,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's Alice in Wonderland.
that's right.
Was there, was
Yeah,
there a
mess with
was
that.
there a kick, like a leg kick or a punch involved with it?
No, she knows I'm just kidding.
yeah.
All she has to do is give the look.
Yeah.
That's what she gotta do. She don't even gotta get violent. It's just a look. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we're smart.
Alice in Wonderland has another side, folks.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains. man.
Alice in Chains.
Nice.
And there's also a third side to that.
Oh,
that
I
I
was going to
would
say,
enjoy,
it depends on the way you look at that, Alice in Chains.
I got the
Not
look.
supposed to say that part, Chris.
I know.
You got that look again.
Chains
Italy.
and the handcuffs and
All right, everybody
Oh
together.
my
Kick it under the table.
goodness.
everybody kick Chris into the
That's
table.
right. 1, 2,
Went out
3.
of focus again.
Boom. Yeah. That's you. You move too much.
There it goes.
Oh, that
Every
happens
time
a lot.
he moves his hands, it goes out of focus. But it doesn't do it for me. Look.
It does it for me a lot. I must
You do it again.
I don't want to do it again. I don't want to be out of focus.
Okay, so
Don't tell me what to do.
Right? Yeah.
There-
I get that
there's-
every once in a while.
there's
Don't
a lot
tell me
of
what.
people in the chat that know you guys.
Yep.
Now, for the people that in the chat that don't know you, which there isn't any,
I was going to say.
but tell us what TDSE is.
Okay, you got it.
It is the Digital Séance Experience.
Experience.
I was just going to do that.
That's good. That's good. We've been working on that for about 10 minutes. It's our spirit communication methodology. We started doing direct radio voice in 2019, which predates any spirit box, Frank's box, or ghost box. We were just using white noise on a long or shortwave radio. Flash forward, Keith Clark from paranormal.com out of Florida showed us the software to do filtration of sound, to do cleanup, basically what people do in review in real time. And we started doing that, and then developed over the way, trying different stuff. We started slowing down the white noise, which had never been done before. We removed the radio as a source of the white noise when we did an underground zinc mine, which was a geological Faraday cage, and we still got voices. So we did stuff to try to vet the authenticity of it that way. And it's for the most part now 3 analog generators or so, running into an interface that fuses it into a channel, goes through the VST or Virtual Studio software, which filters and slows it down in real time. And it runs pretty damn silent. And then you'll hear voices emerge should we get anything, and usually with the standard timing and relevance. But sometimes it's just something that's maybe an observation of the environment we're in. No question, nothing, no provocation or asking anything prior to it. It just something comes through, but does seem to be at least accurate. And that's pretty much it. No radio, no RF signal capability, no word banks, sound banks, plasma discs. It's functional and vetted as much as we could make it, so that when we get something, we can rule out any of the false positive possibilities or pitfalls.
Right, because one of the things we tried to do when we were vetting it was, well, because the sweeping ghost boxes, they have the radio, which is voices. So we wanted to stay away from that to try to, the low-hanging fruit. So when we started doing the Baron channel in a station with direct radio voice, so the Sterling Mine was like a blessing to us, because it made us further develop it to take even more of that low-hanging fruit, because now there is no voices in it, because it's just white noise and there's no daytime white noise. So when you hear the voices, they technically shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
In all reality, they shouldn't be there, because once you filter out all the static noise, it should just be blank, right? It should just be silent.
Right, and it for the most part is, right? So when we say the no voices, we mean by sources other than what it is we're seeking. There should be no vocals without allophones, phonemes, without sounds, word banks, sound banks. There's nothing other than what we would consider anomalous or desirable, I guess, in what we're doing to account for any voices or words that come out.
I mean, white noise is constant. It has the same volume. Shh.
Yeah.
And when we get the voices, you hear them up and down. Some are low, some are high. Some show a lot of emotion. And how, if the white noise is constant?
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And the difference between that and a standard EVP is, I know the answer, but I want you guys to say it.
We're hearing it in real time. We're hearing it, and that's instrumental transcommunication, or ITC. even though everything was EVP or electronic voice phenomena at some point. But yeah, the idea when people do spirit communication methodologies is to try to have dialogue, and that was where Keith Clark was a huge asset to us, because I think historically a lot of the pioneers of ITC, like Dr. Annabella Cardoso, who mentored me into direct radio voice, they would have time frames go by where they got no voices at all, and they would just think that it was something atmospheric or environmental or some factor involved, and they would lose the voices. And I find it plausible to suggest that maybe they didn't lose the voices, but maybe the way by which they were coming through the radio without reducing a noise floor made them like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Like it was just too fused in and blended in with the noise that if they didn't resonate loud enough, if it wasn't discernible enough, you could be getting responses and not even know.
And even the slowing down of the white noise, I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because even now with the slowing down of the white noise, sometimes they come in really fast.
Yeah.
So could you imagine? And we're slowing it down. So there could have been what he was saying, but also maybe the voices were just coming in too quick for them to detect it.
Yeah.
At times.
So we think that the system is providing what would be tantamount to the carrier wave for when an RF signal travels through the air and comes to you. It travels on a carrier wave. When you tune a radio to 98.7, that's the carrier wave frequency you're tuning to, not anything that has to do with the frequency of the vocals on the radio station.
Right.
It's the carrier wave. So we think that what the system is doing is it's providing a carrier wave for the information that we're getting. That's what we think. And originally, you'd heard us say this before, and the takeaway from what I'm about to say is that it's okay to be wrong, and it's great to learn, and I could still be wrong, but now I've moved on to something else. We originally were explaining this through...
It's science!
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, kind of.
It is.
Well,
it is.
but it was born of philosophy, I guess, though.
Yeah,
right?
but it's still science. But go ahead.
We thought originally it was stochastic or inverse stochastic resonance, that something enters the white noise, which is every frequency we can hear, 20 hertz to 20,000, and through resonating with one of those, you get the amplitude, it jumps up over the filtration, boom, you hear voices. And I had a conversation in one of the weekly meetings I've mentioned before, but just for those who don't know, I've been a little over a year now in an ambassadorship program for analytic idealism, which is a metaphysical philosophy under Dr. Bernardo Kastrup, two PhDs. And in one of the conversations I had with him about paranormal evidence and phenomena and stuff, he said something, and in my head, a dead bell sound kind of went off. Ding! And it was like it was like the Backstreet Boys that were all synced up. You hear that?
So we're good.
We're good.
So this thing hits me, and then I realized that it can't be stochastic resonance, because if the frequency coming into the white noise or fusing with it was within the 20 to 20,000 hertz range, it would be measurable, detectable, and audible. But these voices are in fact coming from a non-measurable, non-detectable level. We're not able to pick them up. So now it's got to be something else. And what we're doing is we think that what we have is the white noise is functioning as like a high entropy canvas, and entropy being the chaos or disorder, as the unraveling of a system, right? When something degrades, you have entropy. Like if a cassette starts to degrade and the audio quality gets worse and worse and worse, that's entropy. So we think this is a high entropy, high chaotic canvas, so to speak. And what that's doing is it's working as like a carrier wave, and it's making what is not detectable and measurable detectable and audible to us. It's modulating it into our sense range of where our hearing is. The same way, if you wanted to listen to VLF, very low frequency, which is below long wave, and your radio doesn't pick it up, if you had a VLF converter, it'll receive those lower frequencies, and then it'll bump it up to like 1435 shortwave, and that's where you could play it through your radio. So it's being transduced from one
intermodulating,
right? Intermodulating, transduced from one area to another. Perfect. And that's what we think the system is doing, not stochastic resonance, because then it would be already starting, I think, at a detectable, measurable rate, and typically they're not.
Right, because the resonance, the way he thought before, you need a physical signal to resonate with the physical signal. It can be non-physical to physical. That's why I say about the science. He had a hypothesis.
Right.
He realized he was wrong, and he did some critical thinking and came up with a new hypothesis. Now, maybe that's not what's going on, but that's what makes sense.
Right.
Well,
Right?
and it does make sense too, because if it was stochastic resonance based on the filtration, would pull most of those voices out then, right?
Well,
And-
the idea is the filtration is reducing the noise levels. It's taking the noise floor down. But if something resonates over the noise floor to where it's permissible for the system to let it come through, then that's what you hear.
I know, but I think what he's asking, if it is resonance, right, the
Mhm.
way you thought before, then perhaps if it's
The
that way,
amount
then
of
it would have reduced those voices.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I think maybe so.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe so.
Well,
Yeah.
and the reason I say that is anybody that's ever attended one of Ron and Lourdes' events or been at a Paracon where they've had a room and they've done sessions with TDSE, you'll notice that there are times where it sounds like there's 20, 30 voices coming through, and your theory's got to be correct, because if that many voices wouldn't come through if some of them could be filtered, right?
I
It
would
only
say
get
with
those that are above and amplified above that.
his original hypothesis, perhaps, I think I can see that happening. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
That's why now we believe his intermodulation is being
That's-
transduced. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we went with the idea of technical idealism, because we're taking the idea of analytic idealism, a mental reality that's fundamentally conscious or consciousness, and then we're fusing that in a way that's coherent with what we seem to be getting or doing with this digital seance thing. So we're saying that we think that the universe is made of mind rather than matter, but then these voices go from undetectable to detectable. So we're not using electronic equipment to look for ghosts. We're not getting vocal vibrations from spirits. It's a form of what we would look at as perceptual engineering, something that's allowing us to interact with a broader range of consciousness, right? Beyond what our dashboard or our filters are removing from our general experience. It's allowing us to modulate or have stuff modulated into our sensory input from what normally would not be. So it's again, it's like we look at it as like a form of perceptual engineering is what we see it as.
I wanted to say hi to Marion, to Jenny, and to Melissa, and to Raul. I think he's up in there too.
Yeah,
He's up in there. Yep, they're all up in
Yep.
there.
We
I
all
feel
up
like
in-
the magic garden. The magic, hello, goodbye.
it's a paranormal.
Mirror.
Yeah. So it's interesting, or it's actually been fascinating to watch, you know, the friendship that we've developed over the past few years, to watch where, you know, when we first met you at New Egypt Historical Museum, where we just were last week with you both, kind of getting back to our roots, to watch from where that first danger, he's in the room, hearing it the first time with direct radio voice, and then to see it transform to where you guys are now. And like you said, and even I noticed, because we, you know, there was a few weeks where we hadn't, you know, kind of hadn't communicated or whatever. And then I noticed the change in the technical, you know, to idealism, and your thought process has changed, and that like Lourdes says, your hypothesis has changed. And it's pretty awesome to see you both evolve over these past 3 years from a personal perspective. You know, and that kind of the intro, that 2001 A Space Odyssey, that theme music is very fitting to watch your transformation, you know, over the past few years to kind of where you guys are now. And, you know, and providing, you know, like we said, we've all sat in on sessions. We've sat in sessions where people have had personal experiences, and they've been touched. And, you know, that's what you guys do. You provide an opportunity for, you know, people that come to your sessions to potentially get in touch with what we feel is, you know, potential loved ones that come through and communicate, and us being one of them. You know, we've had multiple experiences, and we had another personal experience last week, you know, with you guys that, you know, it's still mind-boggling, but comforting at the same time to, you know, when those messages come through. And Lacey saying hello again. Lacey's
I know. Lacey,
Robbie
go
was
to your
here.
place.
He was here for a second, and then he left, and now she's like, "All right, I'm
Oh my
back."
God, look at her white hair. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
she's like, "What are you gonna do? I'm here. I'm sitting in Mom's lap now." Licking her.
What I think is fantastic about the paranormal today and what you guys have done to advance it is, if you go back to the 60s and 70s, there was everybody, and you go back to like Holter time. Is there life after death? How do we prove it, right? We have proven in the paranormal field that there is life after death, right? And you see it in our intro where the paranormal becomes normal. Anybody outside the paranormal world, that's not normal, right? We talk about people being around us all the time. The fantastic thing is we've progressed through the paranormal field and learned how to communicate with them and get responses via digital recorders, through video and stuff like that. You guys have found a way to do it with no doubt that you're getting true communication from those people that have passed. And the reason people, it's a sense of closure. But people think it's a sense of closure because, wow, I finally got to talk to the person that I lost. It's not a sense of closure. That's not the total sense of closure. Part of that sense of closure is not only do I know they're okay, but I know I'm going to be okay too, right? That's the message that's being sent. And and guys, there's something I want to point out. You're going to see a lot of things similar to what Ron and Lourdes do. People are still using frequencies, right? Which has a receiver, right? Some people are using that. No fault against them. Some of that's true evidence. Some of it might be faulty evidence. Some of it might not be. But with AI coming out the way it is, there's a couple out there that are using AI. Ron and Lourdes doesn't use AI. They don't use anything. Just the filtration software and the slowing down of the noise coming in, right? That's all they use. So everything coming through is true. Once somebody introduces AI to what they do, now you have a word bank.
Right.
It doesn't help clear up the communication. It creates a base for communication to be falsified and come through in a different light, right? What is AI?
If it's generative AI, yeah. I mean, there are AIs that do noise reduction so that voices can be prominent. That's not, I don't think, an issue, but generative AI can be an issue. And first of all, we appreciate the support and the kind words. You know, two things. One, when we started doing this in 2019, compared to what we saw with Ghost Boxes, we knew there was going to be a change to how ITC would get done, that people would want to do it, would want to adopt it. We were not in a position, still or not, to sell it, just lacking on infrastructure alone. So for us, like we you know, the proliferation of the method or something derivative of the method is what we thought was going to happen in 2019 or so when we started. And that's fine. If people make breakthroughs or if things get, you know, documented through it, it does not hurt anybody. It certainly helps the field if something legitimately gets chronicled as data. We look at it as, you know, when we started, there was nothing really being done but spirit boxes or ghost boxes. And so if you go back to the 70s or 80s, there was a band called Queen. And if you wanted to hear their music, you had to go see them perform. Today, you can go to a lot of different bars and all over the country and hear other people, cover bands, doing the music of Queen. So in that analogy, we're not the cover band. We're the ones who started doing this, and through the influence really with Keith Clark also, who definitely threw a monkey wrench into our works that helped us tune it up.
I mean, really, it was fascinating because when we first started with the software, I remember vividly, because we always say about they're all around us. They're all around us. And when Ron put that filtration through, I heard so many voices. You couldn't understand what they were saying, but it was like standing in a crowded room. That's why it's important to filter the voice, because if not, you wouldn't be able to understand them, because it's so many, like if they're talking, and it made me like a little thing came to me, like, because we always saying they're all around us, and then he does that, and I hear all these different voices. It made sense to me. There's something with the white noise, but it was fascinating. I remember thinking that's probably how certain mediums, when they first, the abilities start popping out that happens to them because it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we hesitate always and take a very conservative approach to what it is, what we do has as far as an impact in the field going forward overall, right? Like we tend to steer clear. We don't always say we prove, only because, I mean, technically speaking, I mean, science does not prove. It leans into what's most probable and what's reasonable based on knowing all the factors or whatever that are involved in something, perhaps. But like math proves. Science can't ineffably prove something because it also reserves the right to revisit should new data or information emerge, to revamp and recalculate theory or hypotheses based on new information. So if something was proven, what we've shown is we've shown an aggregation of what you can call evidence or data that suggests that this vocal phenomenon thing is not to be dismissed on the accounts of very cliche things such as subjective and anecdotal, because it's very romanticized from a skeptical point of view to dismiss it on the accounts of being anecdotal. But it's I would caution against that. It's far too compelling across different backgrounds and all different things. There's a variety of things. It's far too much information, a preponderance of evidence that suggests that there is something to this. One of my favorite things that I kind of contest now, and it was made most famous, I think, by Carl Sagan. They call it the Sagan standard, and everybody's heard it. What is it called? Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof or evidence. That's the Sagan standard. And I would say that is only true, only if by being termed extraordinary, it is done so only because what it is you're putting forth doesn't fit into the box or the ideology that says it's not possible. Then you need extraordinary proof or claims, because this belief system, which is even where the sciences and everything else are coming from, they're starting with belief. That system says that this stuff is not possible. So then when you say, well, I'm talking to ghosts, or I'm sensing spirits, or I'm picking up on something, it goes, no, I'm sorry, that doesn't exist. It's impossible. And impossible is only determined by what our worldview is. And if it doesn't fit in, then we go, oh, it's impossible. That's why you need the extraordinary proof. But no, if it's nature doing what it does, right, which is why we've leaned into a metaphysical stance, because your metaphysics, your definition of reality is your jumping off point. That's your platform. And if you don't know what it is, you may have a toe in one or two of them at the same time. And that's why we end up having theories like what's behind stone tape or psychometry, experiences that I don't deny happen, but with explanations that fall apart and are not coherent, that lack explanatory power because of the way they invoke and then violate science. So knowing your metaphysical position is important, because otherwise you could be pulling from two different things. And then I think that's where, when we invoke science to do that, I think that's where the people who are on the debunkery side come out, and then they find flaws in our arguments or our hypotheses, because we're saying this and then we're contradicting it shortly after with that. So I think that's something that we need to be aware of also.
Right, because we will always lose that debate, because the experience is happening. That's real. But when you explain how it happens and you conflict with science, well, that's when they got you because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was just something posted today that I commented on. Somebody posted something today I commented on. It said, it had a question saying, somebody sees a shadow figure. Is it real, or is it your mind playing tricks on you? And so in philosophy, there's something called begging the question, or question begging, which is when an answer is already assumed in the question. So this assumes that if it's not consensus agreed, and it's anything to do with mind or mental, that it is therefore to be dismissed as an illusion and not real. That's what's inferred in the question.
Right.
So that shouldn't be the question. The question should be, what is causally responsible for it and how? But it's real. Even a hallucination, the experience of a hallucination is still an experience. So it doesn't make it not real. It's real either way, assuming someone's not lying about seeing something. If they say they saw a shadow figure, then that's real. And then you may have interpretation or confirmation bias if that's they really want it to be something, and then they'll put the narrative to the interpretation. that says that that's what it is. And maybe it is and maybe it isn't. But if you have everybody out of, say, 10 people see a shadow figure and they all agree that that's what it is, you don't have proof or truth. You have consensus. That's different. Now, if some of the people say that it's a shadow figure and the other half of them say that they didn't see it like that at all, it doesn't mean it's not real. It just means that everybody's perception of what the experience was differed, because an objective consensus truth is a red herring. You can't share a subjective experience. Everything we experience is subjective. You can't, if I have a state of mental confusion, we can't share that. We can both be confused, or we can all be confused, and then you have an aggregation of people who are having the same subjective experience. But if I have mental confusion and you don't, it doesn't mean that mine isn't real, or that your clarity isn't real.
Or that your mind is tricking you. Because your mind is not what tricks you. What tricks us is our ego. It's the ego that starts to, right? So, but the mind, when it experiences something, and then you let the ego kick in, and you trick yourself sometimes with that ego, right? You make yourself ignore red flags or whatever the case may be. The ego is what tricks you.
Well, a perfect example of what you guys are explaining is, have you ever seen that picture of the gold or blue dress?
The dress.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that looks at the picture, some people see a gold dress, some people see a blue dress. And people are, it's all about perception, but what still exists? The dress, right? The dress still exists. It's just the perception of what people see it as.
100%. Yeah, there's a really famous, not famous, but it's a well-known, I know it comes up in a lot in philosophy discussions. It's a picture of a cylinder, like in a corner between two walls, right? And if it's lit from one side, what it projects is a square. If it's lit from the other side, what it projects is a circle. Fundamentally, the thing that is the noumenal thing, right? The thing that is being represented is a cylinder. It's unchanged. But there's two different perceptions that are coming off the same thing. So that's, to your dress example, that's exactly the point. What you said is spot on, that it doesn't change what is being represented to perception. And we always put narrative to what we perceive. We cannot perceive something and not assign narrative to it. We are myth-making, storytelling creatures. That's what we do.
We interpret everything, right?
So just to add on to that, so it was your cousin's, second cousin's father had passed away. And this is just tying into the experience of subjective. Like Chris, Audra, and Carmela, as you know, are sensitive. They have had experiences and sense things. Me, I always joke that I'm like a brick. We were at the church ceremony, and she kind of looked at me and was having an experience when her cousin was kind of giving a homily about her father that had passed away. And then I looked at her, and then at the same time, this is the first time it ever happened to me. Like I saw like an aura around her, and I'm like looking at her. We both kind of looked at the same time. She's like, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "Well, what are you seeing?" And I'm like, "I'm seeing this." She was seeing something a little bit different, but I was having my own experience simultaneously as the experience that she was having. So like that was like something new for me personally, just to, kind of touch on, what you're talking about of, subjective, right?
It's a good example of you both seeing the same thing, but you interpreted it differently. You perceived it differently, but the foundation itself is the same thing.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
And a great example of how language paints us into a corner with stuff like that too.
So
you know what, Ton, I think you're sensitive. You just gotta let yourself feel it. But you pick up a lot of stuff on TDSE.
Man.
And that is part of being sensitive,
I was going to actually, so even from, kind of going back to the whole filtration and the slowing down, so is it still slowed down? And I may have asked you guys this question before. So is it still slowed down when it's running through the system, TDSE? Is it at 50% slow down, or do you kind of slow it down more, or do you kind of fluctuate when you run a session? I know, Ron, you have your different settings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't generally tinker with that one too much. I slowed it down, not as much as 50%, but it's not 100% of the flow of the white noise going through either. It's somewhere in between. I mean, I could guesstimate the percentage of it, but I know it's not 50%. It's not that slowed down. but it is to a certain degree, because I tried to find a sweet spot where it may slow down some things a little bit much, but it will slow down enough of what's also would seem to be the majority that came in too quick.
Yeah.
So I tried to find a happy little zone in there that was enough to make it discernible.
We didn't want to distort the voices.
There you go.
So it's not 50%, maybe 80%, or I'm not sure how much but
And I only asked that because when we did that last session last weekend at New Egypt, like when we went back, we were hearing things real time, and there was a couple of things that we all heard that came through crystal clear, but there was multiple responses that we did not hear real time until I went back, and we went back and did audio review after the fact, and it's like, holy crap, like that came through multiple times. And
that's the challenge with what we do going forward. Always, we've made it so you hear more of it in real time, but you listen back sometimes and you're like, how did I miss that? And it could be as subtle as like somebody next to you moves, they got a little itch on their shoulder, and then that draws your attention for a second, and then you miss part of what starts the phrase or the words, and then that whole sentence is gone.
I think it's because also a lot of times, even though he has filtered a lot of that we only get 2 to 3 voices sometimes, but those extra voices, unless it comes out strong, you get distracted by those. You get distracted with all the different. So that's why I try to pay attention to. It's hard to pay attention to that one, to try to listen to that one.
And then when Ron, he's a big proponent when sessions are going on, trying to minimize the chat, because I even noticed when we were reviewing the audio and the video of what we were taping from New Egypt, as I'm talking, I can still hear underneath that the responses are coming through to the questions that we asked. And I'm like, crap. But it's like, I know it's there, but I'm not going to, you can tell because I know what we're listening for. But that's just another example of, if you get a lot of chatter going on, you're going to miss some things.
You're more relaxed when you're at home and listening.
Yeah.
Like you can listen to more. I can listen to more. I can pay attention at home where somebody's saying something. I look this way, like you said. I get distracted. Like, oh,
he could be 20 yards across the other room
and
while I'm listening, and she's yelling to me. Oh, that said that, and I'm going back. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I used to do that to him all the time too. But that's part of it, because when you hear something come through and it's normal, we have this tendency, we want to talk about it. Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, did you hear that? And then we start talking, and it's hard not to react to it. But that's why a lot of times you hear me like, oh, well, you see me just listening, because I'm hearing things and I just want to get it all. But it's hard not to respond. It is. It's hard not to respond.
What's coming?
So I want to get speeds. We got some clips to show everybody. I want all of us to answer this in our own opinion. It's a good question.
I have an answer for that. Different speeds we can assume. I mean, we don't know because we don't know. We're not privy to the launch, so to speak, or the initiation of whatever is coming through, which we think is mentation. Just as when we communicate, it starts with thought and then it turns into a mechanical sound that we can convey, so others can hear it. But the voices aren't coming from outside the universe or outside of consciousness. They're coming from a deeper layer of the same consciousness that perceives the radio or the ITC device or the method and the equipment itself. That's what we think. We think we're communicating with consciousness. Could there be different vibrational rates and stuff like that? Sure. But I hesitate to call it places or planes of existence because what it is for us, it turns into materialism 2.0. Right. Like this was one, like the interdimensional hypothesis that's big with cryptid stuff. That's where I'm in agreement with a lot of what it says. Like something vibrates at a different rate and then it pops out of existence, where you see it and experience it in all its vitality. You see what looks like this full living, breathing, and then it pops out. So vibrational rate changing and taking it out of perception. 100%. I'm not off there. Where it loses me is where I think it falls into the materialism trap, which is when it says that it goes to a different dimension or a different plane, because now it's materialism 2.0. Now we're assuming a place that is not veridical. It is empirically inaccessible to us. It is purely speculative. We have no direct or indirect access to it. And the only reason that it exists in hypothesis or theory is because it's filling an explanatory gap, right? Where the reasoning is circular. It must go to a different dimension when it disappears because it disappears into a different dimension. And so it's circular. We're using it self-referentially to explain why it happens, right? So I don't think, and I know you're ready. I'm going to toss this to you. I don't think it needs to go somewhere else. And as an example of something that's very run-of-the-mill for how something will change vibrational rate and it doesn't go somewhere else is,
well, what I wanted to say first. So you talk about, and he said it, I'm just going to say the short version. So we're in a plane, right? So it's in the same plane as we are. It's just not detectable. That's it. We can't perceive it because it's coming in too quickly. Whatever the reasoning in behind that is not detectable with the senses that we have. But it's in the same plane as we are. The example he wants me to give is, well, water. You have water, you boil water, it turns into steam, it evaporates. The water didn't go to a different dimension. It's still in the same plane. Then when that vibration lowers with the weather or whatever, then it rains and there goes your water again. And it just keeps doing the same thing. So when it vibrates higher, then you no longer can detect it. So that's what we believe, that the voices are in a higher vibrational mental state where we cannot detect them, but they are in the same plane as us. We're pretty much swimming in it. We're immersed in it. We're part of it, and we're immersed in it. We just can't detect it.
Just to put an exclamation on that, and then we'll be quiet. And Todd wanted to ask something. Just to wrap that up. So 100% what she just said. It's not that we're saying we know that's true, right? But when you're hypothesizing or trying to posit an idea to explain something, one of the things that gives an explanation any strength is an explanatory power is skeptical parsimony, which means being as rigorous and as few steps to explain something as possible. So could there be other dimensions and planes that are other like seemingly physical realms and they're popping in and out and all these different worlds? Yes, it's absolutely possible. But do we have any reason to lean into it other than the fact that when something disappears, it's convenient to have a place for it to go? Because we're dealing in a physicalist mindset. So it's something physical we see here. Now it has to go somewhere that it's also physical, right? So it's not that it's that we know, but our explanation covers it with fewer steps. It covers it with consciousness as a substrate for reality. And that's it. So when you add other planes and dimensions and all that stuff into the explanation, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying, is it necessary? Based on what we do know, when this is an inaccessible dimension or plane, if that's what it is anyway.
We're trying to give an answer and explanation that won't conflict with science.
So
water is a good example of how that is possible.
So does science say that or have theory or hypothesis that other planes exist?
Well, there's what's called the Evereshian many worlds interpretation, which is that everything's in a state of probability, similar to the whole idea of wave function collapse, and that every time you make a decision or do anything, every infantile fraction of a second, another universe pops into existence where everything else plays out. Every decision, every possibility that could have happened, and everything plays out. The problem with that is that is very likely the most highly inflationary theory known to humankind. When you have a theory that allows for everything, you have a theory that explains nothing.
Right.
Because it allows for everything. So now everything is on the table. Everything's on the table.
There are sciences that debate that. There's some that believe that, and there are they're under materialism. And then there's the other ones that are like, there's no way that's happening.
Right.
So there is scientists that believe that, but then there's the other ones that are like, that doesn't make any sense.
But that's the problem with it. It's highly inflationary.
I always like to, and I may have asked or you talked with Ron about this movie previously, Contact with Jodie Foster. When she goes through and then has the experience with what she perceives as her father, and later to know they explain, hey, we feel this is comfortable. So do you think that is consciousness? Like when she wakes up, when you see her, she wakes up after she goes through the wormhole per se or whatever, and wakes up. What type of experience do you think that's an experience that she had of, I guess, consciousness so to speak?
She was doing drugs.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
I would.
Maybe she
Let me
was.
try. Let me try. She was a scientist.
right.
Right.
So in order for her to understand what was happening to her, to explain the experience that she had in her mind,
Mhm.
she had to come up with an explanation that would explain what happened, instead of just assuming that it was a true experience.
Right.
It had to have been the wormhole. It had to have been the device that I used to get there. There has to be an explanation for it. And that's the problem with all reality, right? Everybody has to have an explanation for everything that happens. It's got Bigfoot has to go to a different dimension. That's why we can't catch him, right? That's why there's no evidence of Bigfoot.
And then the government denied. They're like, oh, she was crazy. She's hallucinating stuff. But but then at the end, you know, I forget who the actor is. He's like, oh, they were talking back and forth and like, oh, did you notice that the video, her body cam, had like 40 minutes of static or whatever of recorded for like 40 minutes that accounted for the time that she
That's because her father was using TDSE to talk to her.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a great point towards, we hear this a lot in the paranormal field, this whole idea about paradigm change and shifting the paradigm and the right. In order to change a paradigm, you need the existing one, and you need to within that have what's called crisis. You have to have enough things that amount to differentials, things that are not articulated within that paradigm, because scientific processes and within a paradigm, which materialism or physicalism is, they look to find and articulate, even the equipment used, the things that it can articulate and explain, which is why when something doesn't fit into it, it'll oftentimes get dismissed. The whole not looking into Galileo's telescope thing, right? They won't even look at it. They'll turn a blind eye to it. And that's important. It's very easy to explain everything that's on the table if one removes from the table all of which they cannot explain.
So
right? If you take all the unknowns off the table, now you have what fits into your box, into your dogma, and then you could explain everything.
So I put this up there, and I don't know. I know we have some clips to get to, and I'm wondering if one of the clips might be from the Kearney Cottage that we were at a few weeks ago with you guys, and
2 clips.
2 clips. Oh, okay, awesome.
I think so, 2 of them are, yeah.
All right. And, you know, so when Hunter Trap, right, when I reviewed the Kearney College, I slowed it further, picked up more. The hearing of people are different, like people's visions. So
I think that's absolutely true. I think that's awesome that he took the initiative to do that, because, you know, we slow it to a certain degree, like Lourdes was saying before. We try to strike a balance with what we can hear without distorting it. But that's not to say that there aren't still things embedded in the recording that are going to be still maybe a little too fast. And when you just notch it down a little bit,
or someone is better at hearing the deeper voices, where the other one's better at hearing those really low voices.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on where your mental mind is focused on.
Oh, real quick before we forget to, this is important. I had seen Todd comment on somebody's post with something within the last week or so, and he always says he's a student and he's interested in like the idealism and stuff like that. And I read his comment, and I was like, damn, man, that's good. It was really good. I was like, look at that. And I'm not.
I don't know which one it is. I'm gonna have to go back and look, but
yeah, no, and I'm not trying to placate or blow smoke. Like, I genuinely, it was cool to see that you were incorporating some of that stuff into how you were looking at stuff. It's a learning process. I didn't pick up a book from Kastrup and all of a sudden be like, oh, idealism, here's how it goes. It took me a few years of studying this stuff to even have a grasp on it, to out of the gate without trying to see things through that lens. So
it's funny because it's true. Even like with me, and he had the same thing. You understand it, but when you go to explain it, you still revert back to materialism because you're used to expressing it that way, and you don't really realize that you're doing that. That's in the beginning. We used to argue about philosophy because I was expressing it wrong.
I've tried to explain myself, and I'm like, Ron, all right, I know I'm not wording this properly. Please, correct my verbiage to help me, because it's an education process, right? I believe in the process of, the thought process of consciousness, and like you said, even how you explain, like it's all one plane, so to speak. It's just going back to the dashboard, you know, and Ron, you've used it early on with like all the radio frequencies, unless, you know, you're tuning in. It's just that we're not sensing those frequencies, so to speak, at that moment. With TDSE, we're able to hear the voices. So
it's like the example that he was saying with Bigfoot, and then it disappears and goes to a different place when you add that extra when you don't really need it. Like me personally, I believe as an idealist, you know, heaven and hell, they exist, but it's not a place. It's the mental state that you're in when you cross over, when you pass. It's that mental state that you're in. That's the heaven and hell.
Dropping stuff over here.
And what she said, again, it's not that she or we know that's true, but we know that consciousness exists, right? And to what Todd was saying before, that one question, he said something about being outside of or coming from outside of consciousness. I forget what he said, or the experience or something. If anything exists outside of consciousness, it may as well not exist, because everything we know, directly or indirectly via acquaintance, is through the fact that we're conscious. Experience is the one pre-theoretical thing that we know. Everything we know is through experience. Everything.
I mean, go ahead.
And ultimately, we being in the paranormal, as long as we all have, what's the only thing we take with us when this physical form dies and goes away?
I would say, don't be mad at me now, because I'm going to nitpick words for a second.
No, he is. I know exactly.
So, yeah, because when you say take with me, it's implying a duality. It's implying the self and the thing that's taken. So, well, again, this under idealism,
exists.
Our physicality is what our inner mental consciousness looks like, right? As all physical things are the representation of something that is out there. So I think that, I think our consciousness is what we are. And the body is how it appears to other people across the dissociative boundary, but that's who you are is who you are. I'll try to do this real quick. I just thought that was fascinating. I got this from Dr. Castro, but it's a thought experiment, right? And it's a great lesson for empathy, which I think that this fucking world needs really bad right now, to be more empathetic for each other. You have almost every reason, barring one small thing, which I'll explain, to see that you are no different than the people you're looking at on the screen, the people you see across from you at work, the people in the chat. No reason. You are almost identical in what you are, right? If you look at your physical form, every cell in your body is not original to when you were 5. That's what I meant to say, is that you are slightly more like your 5-year-old self than you are to any stranger. Every cell in your body is different than the stranger. Every cell in your body now is completely different from when you were 5 years old. So there's no different there. You go, well, what if people are twins? DNA. They have the same DNA. The people who are twins who have the same DNA don't identify as the same person in 2 bodies. They still identify as 2 different people. So the DNA does not cut it either, because you're still defined individually to yourself separately from that. The only thing that really separates you fundamentally from everybody else in the world as being part of one thing is the memories you have of your 5-year-old self. Other than that, there's no difference between you as a 5-year-old self that you remember and everybody else in the world. There's no other differences you can draw. Everything physical is different. The DNA doesn't matter. And the memories of your 5-year-old self is the only differential. So it's a lesson in empathy to go, we're not separate from these people or those people or that guy, that we do in a way that we're very self-serving. We're all part of the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Very well said.
Mm-hmm.
Very well said.
Let's hear these.
I was going to say something, I forgot.
And then we'll go to the clips. Mary Beth says, but there isn't an explanation.
There isn't always an explanation, but that is why we try to stick with what science gives us now. So when we explain it, we try not to go outside of that.
Well,
so and try to keep it there.
We've been conditioned our whole existence, right? That in order for something to exist, it has to have an explanation. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to turn the apple cart up a little bit again.
Fucker.
Everything has an explanation. We don't have access.
Right. We don't know it. Right.
Yeah, that's what they mean.
Which is why in science and the paranormal, why you hear the word random used a lot. Because random is an empty drawer. Random is what we say when what is happening is not calculable or knowable to us at the time. So we just say that it's random. but it's not. It's computationally irreducible. We can't figure out everything that is a factor that's governing it. That's why when you take something that happens paranormally, as we call it, out somewhere at a location, and you go, well, that might be BS. Let me bring it into a lab and recreate it. And oh, look, it didn't happen in the lab, so it was probably BS. Right. That's why that's flawed, because when you don't know everything that contributes to an experience, if you don't know every causal reason behind it, and we don't, when you move the experiment somewhere else, you are unknowingly biasing the experiment because you don't know what's contributing to it, and you're moving it somewhere and you're changing variables that could possibly be involved. What's causing it could be on a vast scale that goes miles. It doesn't have to be something that's small. We think that everything starts microscopic and goes macroscopic and bigger. So if it should fit in the lab, of course you could recreate it. That's an unexamined assumption. We don't know that, how this phenomenon or these things work. We don't know that it's going to fit in the lab. It may be at a location. There may be factors nearby, like people think with water and train tracks, all those things that people think are factors. Maybe those all are. And on a high level of complexity, when these things are aggregated within miles, maybe that's contributing in a certain location or something to cause the phenomenon to be possible or to happen. We don't know. So it's important. I think there's always an explanation, but we, as Dr. Kastrup says, we are monkeys on a rock with higher cognitive function for 50,000 years, and we're not going to figure out the answer to everything behind everything in the cosmos.
It's a wordplay. That's what it is. You got to know how to, it's not like he said, it's not that it's no explanation. Even like when you said about you take consciousness with you.
Yeah.
We are consciousness. What happens is the body dissolves and we no longer have a body. But we are consciousness. So you don't take it with you. That's who you are. That's you.
Yeah.
So it's a word, but we know what you mean when you say that. But when you say it that way, then it's more of a materialistic wording language. Yeah.
So what's funny, and then we'll get to the clips, is when I get into paranormal discussions with people at work, when they find out that I've been in paranormal for so long, they'll start going, well, what about this? And what about that? And what about that? And I'll go, well, theory is, this theory is, that theory is, my theory is. And they'll go, well, which one is right? And I'll go, and my immediate response is, I'll let you know when I'm dead.
Our goal in this, from a theoretical or hypothetical side, and honestly, this is the most genuine goal, is to try to work towards being less and less wrong the longer we're in it. Not figuring it out. I don't see that we figure it out. But we start with experience, and we don't deny the experience, which happens. If something gets denied as being impossible, it is wholeheartedly and 100% because it doesn't fit into a dogmatic view of reality. That's why it's considered impossible. If reality doesn't allow for it, then it gets that label. And then it gets dismissed. And then all of a sudden now it doesn't happen, and you know where that goes.
Oh yeah. You guys ready to see some good shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you want to start with, or you just want to just play them at random?
You know what? So actually, maybe the News 12 one, the Haunted Tri-State one, it's the longer one of the few, because there's an explanation of the method kind of at the beginning of that. And just as an FYI, in 2 days on the 8th, they did 4 episodes of Haunted Tri-State last summer, and they aired them in October. And they did so well that they made it a regular recurring series, not just a Halloween thing. So there's 4 more episodes coming out. We were episode 4 the first go around.
We were the finale.
Now we're episode 1.
No, we premiere.
Which premieres on News 12 through the Tri-State area, and it'll be on their YouTube channel, News 12 Originals, starting Wednesday the 8th. Our first episode we did with them got like 91,000 views.
It's his birthday, so it'd be good.
Wow.
On the 8th.
That's right.
What better to do than watch something that
Stop. Oh, God.
Watch that.
All right, you guys want to see this? Here we go.
Yes.
The Digital Séance Experience scans white noise, a combination of signals similar to the hiss of an untuned radio or television. His software filters through these frequencies and picks up any voices, allowing them to communicate with the spirit world in real time.
There's no word banks, there's no sound banks, there's no signal radio or otherwise.
It's just the white noise. We're making more of what comes through audible.
Ron and Lourdes, they're coming into this cold. They don't know about the history. They haven't heard, these stories. And they're setting up in one of the most active places in this bakery, the kitchen. Our Haunted Tri-State production team is here. The cameras are up and they're ready to record every moment. So let's start the night. One of the first things we hear is...
In the basement?
Is there a basement here?
No.
That's true.
Okay, that got weird quickly. And then just 5 minutes after we started, we hear 2 names. How many people are here tonight?
Virginia.
I heard Eddie.
Eddie.
You heard it?
Eddie, what's up?
Wait, let's play that back. Okay, is this the Eddie that we've been hearing a lot about? Is he trying to communicate to us and letting us know that he's here tonight?
Eddie, were you here when this was not a bakery?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like Eddie is coming through, but there was another name mentioned.
Virginia.
So that's interesting to us. One of the first names that we heard on Ron's software was Virginia. Gerard has never heard that name mentioned before, but could that have something to do with one of our producers named Virginia?
Virginia.
I definitely heard my name. And I kind of pointed to myself, wondering, did anybody else hear it? And then we played it back. And then we all heard it. And that was so disturbing.
Could there be a spirit looking to connect with Virginia? But a name that they have heard before comes up right away, and that's Eddie. He seems to be dominating the paranormal's conversation.
I heard Eddie.
Eddie.
You heard it?
Eddie, what's up?
Being a trickster?
Eddie, you're the guy who plays pranks around here, right?
That's me.
That's me.
Eddie, we don't know who you are. When you here? Why are you here, Eddie?
As you can see, there has been contact made with Eddie, who Gerard believes was killed when he was a teenager near the bakery. We are also hearing other voices, including a female. Could that be Gracie or Charlotte, the girls from the Civil War era?
Can you guys let Gracie say hello, please?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Where is she? Can she say hello?
That sounded like a female.
Excuse me, I heard.
While that is happening, Gerard shows us a photo on his phone that was captured in the alley attached to the bakery. He believes the shadowy figures look like 2 little girls. And then before we know it, we get confirmation.
Can Grace say her name? Please let Gracie say her name.
Gracie!
There it is.
Hey!
Thank you. Thank you.
Never gets old, man. Never gets old.
So we're now in the alleyway, and this is where they've gotten a lot of, activity and people feel things. So now we're going to listen.
Somebody say Eddie loudly if you can hear us. Immediately.
Did anybody else notice that the news reporter was shitting herself?
Oh yeah, she was so cool, man. She was blown away.
She had me dying. Her face was like, I couldn't even do it.
And I think we all had, to a certain degree, that experience. It's like, holy crap, did I just hear my name? And it was funny because now it's like for regular occurrence. I mean, your name has come through. My name came through Saturday night. It was like, hey, Todd. And I'm just like, oh, hey.
Yeah, they did a great job on that show. They did a great job producing it. And from what I heard, they had I think they submitted the first season for an Emmy.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So
Very
yeah,
cool.
they did a great job on it. We were happy to do it again.
I think yours is coming out Wednesday night, right?
Yeah, ours is the first one this go around. Yeah, it took off last time. We were really surprised.
She thought you were calling her, but you were saying Gracie, but she thought it was Lacey.
Oh, she said, what? I heard my name through TDSE.
Lacey. What'd you say? The best part about that is I love watching people that aren't in the paranormal experience it for the first time. The looks on their faces cannot be duplicated. It is so phenomenal. And it's like, we told you.
Yeah.
Y'all just
especially Virginia.
Right?
That was impactful for her. She was like it was impactful for her. Yeah.
But the best part is she classifies it as disturbing.
Yeah, she sure did.
A lot of people do when they hear their name. It really does. It does shake some people at the core when they hear their name.
Yeah, but you know what? But it made her curious because now they want to keep doing it. They want to.
Yeah.
She found it disturbing, but she's still curious.
We helped launch a recurring series.
Well, it's disturbing at first, and then it's like, say it again.
Right.
Which one?
They're a nice crew.
Which one do you want to play next?
I don't know if it matters from here. I mean, I know I sent one for Peachfield. There's two of them from the Kearney College one. One of them's short relatively, but we don't discount if it's a 1 or 2 word answer sometimes because it's still, if it's timed and relevant, it's important. But
I'm gonna play My Haunted Manor next. I like this one.
That's a classic from not too long ago. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
They started digging. What would they find?
Person.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, ask the person.
Is it a male or a female person? Male or female? Woman.
Oh, woman.
So the reason I want to play that next is because you look at the one and I talk about people that aren't in the paranormal that go, holy shit, it's even better when you see people that are used to it react. Yeah.
And I want to say, because I can relate to Ron. Ron's like a couple times, he's like, it never gets old. And the one time we've been on a couple times when we've been sitting in on sessions, and when we ask for a response and then we come through and it's like the Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
How many times have I scared the shit out of you?
Several.
I've scared the shit out of her multiple times during sessions. It's like, there it is.
Yeah, we had a great experience at My Haunted Manor, and they had us on an episode of their season of the show, and then we were on 3 more episodes, including the finale for the first season, just off of that one appearance because of that stuff that came through.
Wow.
It's fucking awesome.
That's a cool place.
And that's us talking about how fortunate we are. That's not us talking about how skilled we are. We had no hand in that happening. I mean, we're part of the process, but I can't tell you how I masterfully figured out how to make that happen. I have no idea how that happened. It just happens. It seems to work.
Well, you can tell by the reaction, right?
Right.
Genuine.
It's real.
It's genuine. So you do behavioral studies on people's reactions. Somebody that knows that something's going to happen doesn't react that way. That's a sincere reaction to a holy shit moment, right? That's fantastic.
That's the problem with the scientific method with regards to phenomena like this too, is because to be predictable is to be engineered, right? And this is not. This is dealing with what we think consciousness and intelligence, and that's not. We can't predict that.
Mary Beth wants to know where that was.
That was at go ahead.
Samuel Miller Mansion. It's
Columbus, Pennsylvania.
Columbus, Pennsylvania.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Columbia.
Oh, Columbia.
Columbia, PA.
Right? Columbia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Columbus, Columbia.
It's near Gettysburg.
Yeah.
What, like 30 minutes?
We're Columbus. Columbia.
Yeah.
We're in Columbus.
It's Colombo, PA.
There you go.
Colombo.
And My Haunted Manor, the folks that do it there is Darryl Marston and the Bader brothers, Trey and Jeff. So if you wanted to like do an investigation there, just look at the My Haunted Manor USA and see when they're doing events.
Yeah, great spot.
All right, so the next one I'm going to do is your spectacles.
That's Peachfield. That was I do that a lot as it's my one part. Yeah, I hold them up. It's my one parlor trick when we do an event. If people aren't asking questions or it's quiet, just so people can see that interactions or answers are possible. And most of the time I get it. And when I do, then people seem to open up and want to engage more and see if they can get an answer. So that's why I'll do that. That's my one parlor trick that I started doing a while ago for that reason.
Well, and I want to point out something very specific to this clip. Is it gives you an idea of when that consciousness existed, right? We don't call them spectacles anymore.
Right.
You're talking 1920s, 1930s. They quit calling them spectacles in the early 40s, late 40s, early 50s. That's when it changed to eyeglasses, right? And then it moved forward from, and now we're just lazy and just say glasses.
Right.
All right, so here we go.
So can you see us? Yes or no? I heard the yes. It was low. If you can't see us clearly,
You can see this.
okay. Can you tell everybody just to verify you see us? Can you tell everybody what am I holding up? Clearly, slowly, what am I holding up?
Oh, that was
I heard that.
nice.
Wow, how many of you guys heard that?
I'm like, if he says glasses, I'm not gonna buy it.
Holding up. Slowly, what am I holding up? Slowly, what am I holding up?
Oh, that was
Good.
So I have a correction to make. I was way off. Spectacles were invented in northern Italy in the late 13th century, circa 1268 to 1300. And through the 13th and 14th century, all the way to the early 15th centuries, the Oxford English Dictionary recorded them as spectacles. So imagine how old of a response you were getting from that.
Right?
Yeah.
I have to say, the first time I heard testicles.
What am I holding in my hand?
Yeah, there's the narrative.
There goes her mental state.
And then we can determine the time frame of the response by were they hairy or are they trimmed?
I mean,
Was it the Mark Stowe Grouch ones with the fuzzy little eyebrows and a big nose?
The testicles or the spectacles?
same thing.
Correct. And
You can
actually,
agree with the
if
testicles
I'm not
with
mistaken,
blue
was that, I don't know if Lourdes, was that the night that when Ron, because I think
Yes.
we had a dead bell moment, was that the night that the
Yes.
great Rondini was
Oh, yeah.
created?
Yeah.
The great Rondini.
The great Rondini.
Rondini. Ron asked for it to ring, and it did. How many? It was.
I wanted it to ring when I counted down. I think
That's what it was.
3, 2, 1. And then it was like a half a second or a second after I did it. It was like silent, almost like it didn't happen. And then it went ding. And then Kim Geyer's
I
husband,
didn't get ready to say. Go ahead.
Kyle, right?
Yeah.
He wigged out. He like walked out of the room like freaking out.
Yeah.
As I recall, he's like, I'm never surprised or shocked. He's like, he couldn't believe it. He was like,
Yeah, he did a countdown and then it went ding. But that's not the first time I seen Ron do that. He did that in freaking White Hill Mansion with the first time I ever seen K2 activity like that. When I tell you Ron Deeding was at work, there was like 3 K2s, and when I tell you, he was like, light that one up, and they would light up, light that one up, and they would like every one that he pointed. I'm like, I remember, and we had just started dating. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, what's going on?
you got a special one.
Well, in all reality, anybody that's ever met Ron or talked to Ron or seen Ron on our show, right? Ron and Lourdes are intelligent people. Ron is highly intelligent. He says words that I have to look up after the show's over.
Or Google while we're talking.
What I'm trying to say is he has this knack and ability in the paranormal when he sees that he's getting responses, man, he's on it. And that part of that comes from your commentating background, part of that comes from your performance background, but most of it comes from your intelligence. You identify when you're getting responses, and man, you stick with it, and you just keep feeding that horse, man, because you want him to win the Derby. And you see it every time you do shit with Ron and Lourdes.
No, I appreciate that very much. It's very kind of you. It's funny. I tell her all the time that since I started the meetings with Dr. Bernardo Castro, and not just him, other members of the ambassadorship that are in these meetings, like I listen to some of the conversations. Like I get to talk to them sometimes, but there's a few of us in the meeting, so I'm not always engaged in the conversation. A lot of times I'm just completely student and I'm just taking notes or whatever. And I leave those meetings sometimes. I told her, like, did I even graduate? Like, this is unbelievable. So I appreciate the compliments, but it's so funny. Like, and I think it's great for us to have context, right? To have the support and the compliments that you've given, but at the same time, like that humbles me. Like I go, I don't know, maybe I'm smart, but damn, I don't feel like it right now.
Well, then I never want to talk to the guy because I'll feel like a lump of shit. When
he is. I remember someone messaging me. I think it was Brian Bowden. And he was telling me that I'm the brains of the operation. And I was like, okay, I may be the brain, but this one's the quantum brain. He has the quantum brain because he doesn't give himself enough credit.
Well, I mean, it's in my nature, I think, to be humble. I don't think any strength that anybody has makes anybody any better than anybody else. We have different things, and we have intelligences that are highlighted in different areas between us, right? I have mine with this. Other people have it with other things. I don't know everything, so I know more than everybody. That's not the case. And it's also, I think it's great to be in those situations when you are both inspired and humbled. Like I had to work really hard just to be able to listen to Bernardo Castro speak and not get lost, to read his books. And then he brings in other people that are like top neuroscientists, and tomorrow's meeting he's got Ian McGilchrist, and I think he taught at Oxford, and Christoph Karl, who's one of the top neuroscientists. He's doing integrated information theory. That is way over my pay grade, but I have to work just to be able to follow. So, and I think in this field, I think that's a good thing. I think if we look at so much that we don't know, and then we try to diminish the don't know part as much as we can.
Well, I love Bernardo Castro is cool because to me, he's easy to understand. He makes it his business to make people like us understand. But his guests, when they speak, you get lost. I'm like, what?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I just have to say that one of the things that I love about sitting and talking with you guys is I'm a critical thinker, right? Just because it doesn't come out critical, because I'm white trash and was born a trucker, been in construction my whole career. So my expression doesn't come out in the way I think. The critical thinking is like when Ron and Lourdes come to visit, we'll go out and do something, and then we're up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning just fucking chatting. And I love it because it makes me think critically. And I think the critical thought is lost in this world. Everybody takes, and I've said this hundreds of times, you guys have all heard it. We take everything for surface value. It's that Facebook post. It explains the world, right? Because it said it on Facebook. Critically think what's behind it. Is there motivation behind it? Critically think through the world. When you have that critical thought, you expand your horizons, and explanations aren't needed because you can have an understanding in your own mind of how everything functions and everything works, and acceptance is easier that way.
You know, you make a good point, because that's why I resonate a lot with you, because I have the same problem, Chris. I mean, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, in the worst parts, right? But my critical thinking is pretty high. But when I express it, doesn't really come out the way I'm thinking. And he helps me with that. Because, you know, I live with him. So he helps me like, all right, I know what you're trying to say, but this is the better way of saying it, because when you explain it this way, this is really what you're conveying. And you don't even realize it, but you know it's here. Because of so that's how me and you resonate a lot, because I understand that problem. I have the same problem.
You guys, all 5 of you and everybody in the chat that I've gotten to talk to, Raul, are brilliant people. A lot of what I learned from these people in these interactions is articulation, and then different ways of expressing and thinking about and seeing things. So intelligence is the ability to process and access information, but in order to me to use whatever intellect I have to challenge it. I have to feed it, and I spend time around these people who are, to me, superior in intelligence and highly educated. And it really, and I'm not just saying this to try to seem like a good guy. Like it's humbling. It's humbling. Like I don't feel like the intellectual giant when I'm in that group. I don't. I don't feel like that anyway. But there, it's really, really in front of my face. Like, you know, there is so much more, and I take the inspiration and the humility from it. And I think that's what I try to carry forward into this, is that I'm not everybody's teacher. I'm everybody's student. And I know what I know because I shut up and listen, and then I think about stuff, and then I try to process it and formulate my own thoughts and move forward with it. You know, it's really, it's out there if people want to put the time in and watch things and read things. And there's a lot of really brilliant people who are putting forward stuff that would help us better understand the stuff that we're doing.
Awesome.
Well, I'm the one that says, I'm just dumb. I don't get any of it. And I say, you got that? And he said, yeah. I'm like, all right, good.
I get it to a certain degree, but she doesn't give herself enough credit too. So it's
I'm gonna say the same thing. She doesn't give herself enough credit.
Try and reinforce that to her. You know, and I listen, you know, I know I'm not the best listener. I understand that sometimes.
Well,
yeah, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
sometimes when you're
interested in
conveying messages to me.
Oh, well,
and
because
stuff.
he's not interested in me, but he's interested in what everything else.
But you
right,
talking
he
and when
agreed
you-
with me. Everyone heard that, right?
You'll have, like, I'll say something and you'll have an explanation or something. Sometimes when I get hung up on something, you'll be like, you'll explain it, and it's like, oh,
So,
yeah, makes
so
sense.
here's Carmela's personality from what I see. Carmela is a get shit done. And if you can't explain it to me in 5 minutes, I've got other shit to do. Get out of the way.
That's why I resonate with her.
Where's the dead bell?
I'm like,
Ding.
Right?
Can you just say it in 3 words?
Explain it
I'll
to me in 5 minutes or get the fuck out of my way because I got shit to do.
Yeah.
That's
Now
Carmela.
you know. Now you know my problem with Ron, right? Because I love Ron, and he's gonna say, but certain things I'm like, I don't need the details. Just tell me what I need to know.
Oh, he says that to me all the time.
Same thing. I say, please just get to the point. Like, why are
Right.
we here? Just
Well,
say it in
and
3
they
words.
say opposites attract because then you got Todd, you got Todd on the other side that wants to absolutely understand everything right
And
down to
teacher.
the last grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where they're different. Todd will sit there for hours trying to understand everything so he knows it. Where Carmela's like, if you can't explain it to me in 5 minutes, move the fuck out of the way.
I gotta go.
2 or 3
I gotta
words,
go.
I'm done. Bye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Speed it up.
Speed it up.
Speed it up.
Speed it
Get
up.
to the point. Let's go.
Hey, fine.
Yeah.
that's it.
Todd and I are on the same page with how we are in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
actually.
Because I love it educationally, trust me.
Yeah,
But when
no,
you're around the house or whatever, I don't want to hear the details. I just want to hear what I want to hear.
No, that's me. I'll skip all the details and say, look, this is what we're doing this time. Bye. Gotta go.
Yep.
Very, very true. Thank you, Chris. That is me.
Mhm. And then my lovely wife wants to understand everything as long as it interests her. And if it doesn't, fuck it, I'm done.
Right.
And then the birds come flying around and land on her shoulder and sing.
That's
little
right.
words.
That's right. Disney princess. That's right.
Right.
We had
So
a blast
Edward-
being up like talking to you guys when we were there. Like that was, and we were talking about some of this philosophy and stuff, but I would have anything, just the fact that we got to spend time staying up and hanging out. That was awesome. That experience was awesome. We really loved it, being able to do that.
And for all you watching, while we were here on the show, Audra's deer were coming up to the back patio. Not
getting out of the bushes.
The video is going off going, you have motion in your backyard. And I showed it to her and I went, you didn't feed your deer tonight. They used to come around about 3 a.m. Audra's here now, they come around about 9 o'clock. It's crazy.
Usually around 10 now.
Next thing you know, they're going to be knocking. They're going to be like banging.
I know. The little hoops are going to be going, hey, lady.
You marry Beth? Audra is
Thank
amazing.
you.
Audra
Your
is
sweetness,
We
Mary.
would-
It was amazing.
We
Yes,
would
she
agree
is.
with that.
All right.
I'm the quiet one.
Dine with
too.
the dead. No.
Me too. I'm the quiet one. I sit
Quiet.
and listen.
No. Audra does not come from a quiet background. We go over to her parents' house and I sit silently and watch the baseball game. Everybody else is cha-cha.
I come from a very female dominating family. Yes, I do. We're all girls, and yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I hope so.
That's it.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
it.
the whole family is
Last time I checked, she was.
All right.
And I check it often and she'll let me. All
There's a
right, so the next clip.
clip.
Todd's blushing on that one.
Yeah, I am.
Are you?
A little bit.
All right, the next one is Dine with the Dead.
So there's two of them. I think these are from Kearney Cottage that we did in Perth Amboy.
Okay.
So I'm going to play the first one. The second one I'm going to play last because I disagree with it slightly. But
All right.
all right,
Uh-oh.
here we go.
In the shadows, where secrets sleep.
What about humanity? What do you think about today's humanity in our society? How can we improve? Changing.
Wow, you hear that?
In the shadows, where secrets sleep. A silent promise I will keep.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was
and,
pretty cool.
And how true is that? And think
Yeah.
about it. The definition of society from the 50s to now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go further back
Way,
than that,
yeah.
but just from the 50s to now.
Yep. I heard the changing. I was like, change. I was, yeah.
Yeah, we all heard that.
Because we didn't hear I'm at a loss in real time.
Yeah.
That one we heard upon review.
Yep.
But the changing we heard in real time.
And that was one of the ones to Todd's point earlier. When I heard that I'm at a loss, I was like, how did I not hear that
Mm-hmm.
when we were in the moment? But I didn't.
And there was no other voices, which I love. You know, a lot of times it was just her. So that
Yeah.
was pretty good.
Yeah, and the tone changed too on that.
Yeah.
So these two, same place,
Yeah.
but they actually tie together if you think about it.
Oh, I would say yeah.
The one you're going to play next?
Yes.
Yeah, and for the record, without spoiling anything, the gentleman who was kind enough to ask us to do the event, Michael Doris O'Connor, who did the event at Kearney Cottage in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, he's the one asking that question. He asked a few questions that were of that genre or category, let's say. This was one of them. I was trying to clip a few of the newer ones. Some of the answers were quite good. This was a short response, but it's definitely a response to what he asked.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's definitely that someone that hasn't spent time in 2026. I can tell you that right now. All right, here we go.
In the shadows, where secrets sleep. A silent
What political party tells the truth? The Democrats or the Republicans? Kids.
The music is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the music.
Yeah, the music is freaking awesome.
That was a quick response. Like it was so quick, you almost missed it.
Short, quick, and to the point.
Mm-hmm. But I bet you if the question was posed as which one of these parties lie, we probably would have had the same response. Both.
Yeah,
We're all human.
That's where I was going with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he asked a few questions like that, and a few of them got answers. I have to still. I've been cutting clips and working on other stuff, which we can talk after the show. So I'm just getting caught up now, trying to make more clips for stuff like that. So I cut that one most recently, those two from that, because that was a good event.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, we went with you guys. We were there, and we were trying to surprise you, and then I was like, hey, we're just gonna happen to be up. We know you have an event. Hey, can we meet before dinner? No, we're coming down for a photo shoot down in New Egypt.
Yeah.
Oh,
We met with Mike Danger, actually, who we were on with before tonight at 7:00. We did a podcast to promote the main horror and paranormal convention that they're doing again this year. And so we were on with him earlier. But yeah, we were down to meet him that day to take some pictures and stuff to promote.
We ruined the surprise.
And he showed the dangers in the room clip. He always shows it.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a cool moment.
That was my aha moment with TDSE.
Yep.
We talked about you.
We always, because you're saying, I'm going, yes, and you're going, no, yes, no. It's so funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
It's like that epiphany.
Oh my God.
Well, we have gone way over, and we could go forever with the other four that you're seeing on your screen besides Audra and I. If the four of us ever get together, there will be no sleep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There will be some drinking involved.
6 of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other four.
Take a road trip out to Ohio.
Yes.
Road
We're
trip.
talking about it.
We're talking about it.
We're still trying to find a location, but we keep hitting dead ends.
Literally.
No pun
So
intended.
slight update. We've been trying to get a hold of the owner of the Columbian House in Waterville. It is a severely haunted location that has been anything from a brothel to a hotel to a restaurant to a wedding venue. And it's been there since 1812, 1820-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the current owner that purchased it the last 12 years ago
Yeah.
is preserving it and does not want anybody inside of it.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
So that one, the one that we visited when you guys were here, that one.
Oh, that one was cool.
Yeah, nothing. We've heard nothing. So anybody that knows Chris, especially the four of you and Audra, I do not give up. I will find us a location near our home where we can host and bring people in to do paranormal investigations to save that history, but we haven't found it yet. So slight update.
It will come just like Montgomery House did.
I don't quit. So
Yep,
It
that's
will
right.
come. It will absolutely come just like Montgomery House did to you guys. So
yep.
That's right.
I hope so.
So Chris,
Don
before,
Carmela, do you have anything you guys want to say?
yeah, I just want to
He
say,
has a lot.
I'm the long-winded one. I'll try not to be long-winded.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. First of all, thank you to everybody in chat. We truly do appreciate you coming out every week. Or even if you're not able to watch it live, to go and watch the replay. We truly do appreciate it. This year has flown by. It doesn't seem like a year. I'm going to say, our roots kind of go back to the New Egypt and first meeting Ron and Lourdes, which has led us, and the relationship and the friendship and the bond that we've developed over the past 3 years, going on 4 years with you two, and then which led us to the amazing couple of, Chris and Audra, and the bond and friendship that we've developed with them over this past year and past couple of years. Everything happens for a reason. We truly believe that. And our paths have crossed, and, us being here co-hosting now with Chris and Audra, Stay Haunted, it's been a true pleasure. I get a little verklempt, but it's, because When you know the friendship and the love. Look, she's got a the friendship and the love is truly genuine. And like you said, I know when we first came out and visited Chris and Audra, when you were guys down in North Carolina, like we were up until I think it was like 2:00 in the morning. Just
truth serum.
Oh, they gave you the Pilar. That's right. They did give you the Pilar, and she just
we forced it down.
Truth serum. But yeah, we love you. We love both of you guys, all four of you, and that's enough for me. So, do you have anything you want to add?
Whatever he said. You know I love all of you.
I told you.
You know that. I don't say much. Get to the point.
We're happy to see this, that you guys got together and started doing a podcast. And we saw it grow. Like you guys found your footing, the chemistry, like it happened quick. You guys found that really quick when you started. And the show's great. We don't have something going on a Monday night. Where you see us in the audience. We watch. We're proud of the four of you for what you're doing. The fact that you guys connected and paired up is not a surprise to us because it's four of the best people we've ever known. So we're happy to see that. And we love you guys too. You guys have all been super supportive of us and what we do and opened your homes and everything else. So we're grateful to be here for the 1 year show.
I was going to say happy first anniversary, guys. You're doing a great job. And we love you all.
Mary Beth wants us to do a 48-hour show.
We'll just have the four of them come to our house again, and we'll put cameras. We'll just live stream.
Right? Listen, if we did this for 48 hours, I would take a restraining order out against myself.
Right?
I have to say it at least once. Raul. Raul, thank you. Appreciate it.
Audra?
Chris?
Do you have anything you want to add? Don't say my name.
Well, you said my name. Yeah, I mean, gosh, the humble beginnings that we had from way back when, and meeting Ron and Lourdes via, not Zoom, but our podcast from so long ago. And it was accumulated into all of this, and I just can't. I'm overwhelmed with my thoughts. I don't need a tissue. No, thank you. No, you guys mean the world to us. You know what? We do anything for you, and so blessed to have the four of you guys in our life for sure. For sure.
Amen.
That's how I feel. That's what I say. Ditto.
Yeah.
So they say that. So they say that true friendship shows itself in more ways than one. It shows itself by dedication, it shows itself by loyalty, and it shows itself by through turmoil. What rises to the surface is true friendship, right?
Turmoil.
So turmoil. Without getting into too much detail. Has brought Audra and I and Ron and Lourdes even closer than we were on the podcast. They are truly family. We would do anything for them. That same turmoil produced a friendship. That turmoil caused us to struggle to find a location in North Carolina, but that location also led us to meet Todd and Carmela, right?
Yep.
And the same turmoil from the past, because Todd and Carmela, it was a blessing. And ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, people that don't know me, I'm a very hard person. I don't let people in. I don't trust, because too many people have shit on me in my lifetime, including people that are blood, right? So when I let somebody in, I truly let them in until they shit on me. I can tell you the four people that are sitting right here on this screen, other than Audra, have never shit on me, and I don't expect them to ever shit on me again, or ever shit on me at all, unless I pay them a lot of money. But I'm not into that. So
that's a bad vision.
So basically, what I'm saying is what you see. So basically, what I'm saying is what you see on your screen right now is not just 6 paranormal people that have come together and have the same interests and enjoy the same thing. What you're looking at here is what I consider family. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
People that I would do anything for, I would bend over backwards for. And in all reality, people that really know me would step in front of a bullet for. So this year has not only been a fantastic thing for me because I've gotten to know Todd and Carmela, and we've all come closer as a group and with Stay Haunted, but I can tell you all right now, there would not have been anybody else on our 1-year anniversary than Ron and Lourdes below.
We love you guys.
Even if we didn't talk paranormal, we just bored the shit out of you guys telling you stories about shit we do when we're not on camera. Right?
And I was almost going to bring that up at the beginning, say like, listen, maybe we just throw a curveball at the audience and just let's chit chat and have a chit chat, shit session.
It's a shit chat. A shit chat.
And one of the reasons why, and I'll make this as quick as I possibly can, one of the reasons why Stay Haunted became what it is as a podcast is because I said it the last episode of the other podcast. Stay Haunted does not mean go out and chase ghosts. Stay Haunted does not mean go out and find entities and record them and all this other bullshit. Stay Haunted doesn't mean get an attachment, take it home, and do all this other bullshit that you hear from some of the other crap that goes on in the paranormal. Stay Haunted is what you're seeing on the screen now. It's the friendships. It's the dedication to the paranormal community. It's the dedication to the friendships that we get and receive from this community. And it is the family that we end up evolving into in the paranormal. That's what Stay Haunted means. So when I say Stay Haunted, that is the true definition of Stay Haunted. Guys, thank you so much for watching us for the last year. We're not done yet. We're going to continue to go on. Stay Haunted is going to go as long as we possibly can until they say, fuck that, shut them off, they're done. They said the F-bomb too many times. But anybody that knows me, that's a possibility, but it's not going to stop, right?
Yes.
That's what Stay Haunted is to me. That's what Stay Haunted is to the other. Yeah, look at this.
He's gonna notice. He's got a point. Said, don't point. Leave him alone. He's gonna notice.
I've been holding on to that.
And what you guys don't realize is that wall is directly behind me.
Behind him again.
I took that wall with me from North Carolina to Toledo, Ohio. It's on the wall behind me. But ultimately, what I'm saying is, guys, this is family. This is paranormal. This is what the community should be. Take out all the dramatic bullshit, all the pissing matches that happen in the paranormal, all the other crap. This is what the paranormal community is meant to be. And this is Stay Haunted. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.